Did you know that Bitcoin has been the best performing asset of the last decade by increasing over 10,000%? What if you could retire early by making a small investment today? Imagine what that could mean for your prospects of an early retirement. Picture this. It's 2013 and Bitcoin has just hit $4.7 million per coin, just as Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy predicted. Those who invested early are now living their dream retirement. But will you be one of them? In this video, we'll explore how a small investment in Bitcoin today might be your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for early retirement and why time could be running out. Bitcoin isn't just digital money, it's a revolutionary savings technology that's changing the game. With only 21 million coins ever to exist, Bitcoin's scarcity is its superpower. Think about it. As more people catch on, each Bitcoin becomes more valuable. But here's the kicker. Most people still don't get it. You're here because you're different. You see the potential. You're ready to learn how Bitcoin could be your ticket to financial freedom. So, are you ready to discover how a few Bitcoin today could transform your future? Let's dive in and explore the hidden opportunity that's right in front of us. Bitcoin, the digital gold rush of our time. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be part of a gold rush? To strike it rich with a lucky find that changes your life forever? Well, you're in luck, because we're living through a modern-day gold rush right now. But instead of pickaxes and pans, we're using digital wallets and blockchain technology. Welcome to the Bitcoin revolution, where digital gold is redefining wealth as we know it. Now, you might be thinking, Bitcoin? Isn't that just internet money? But it's so much more than that. Bitcoin is a game changer, a financial innovation that's turning the world of investing on its head. And here's the kicker. Most people still don't understand its true potential. That's where you have the advantage. Let's break it down. What makes Bitcoin so special? For starters, it's often called digital gold, and for good reason. Like gold, Bitcoin is seen as a store of value. But unlike gold, Bitcoin has some unique properties that make it even more valuable in our digital age. Think about it. Gold is heavy, difficult to transport, and a pain to divide. Bitcoin? It's weightless, can be sent anywhere in the world in minutes, and can be divided into tiny fractions. Want to send someone $5 worth of Bitcoin? No problem. Try doing that with gold. But here's where it gets really interesting. Bitcoin has something that gold, or any other asset for that matter, can't match: a fixed supply. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins, period. No more, no less. Can you say the same about gold? Or stocks? Or even your dollars? This scarcity is Bitcoin's superpower. As more people wake up to its potential, demand increases. But the supply? It stays the same. You don't need to be an economics whiz to figure out what happens next. The value goes up, potentially way up. Now, I know what you're thinking, but isn't Bitcoin volatile? You're right, it is. But here's the thing. Volatility works both ways. And historically, Bitcoin's ups have far outweighed the downs. In fact, Bitcoin has been the best performing asset class for 8 of the past 11 years. That's not just good, that's unprecedented. But Bitcoin isn't just about getting rich quick. It's about protecting your wealth in a world where traditional currencies are losing value. Governments can print money at will, leading to inflation that eats away at your savings. Bitcoin? It's inflation-proof. Its supply is fixed, making it a potential hedge against the devaluation of traditional currencies. And here's something else to consider. Bitcoin isn't tied to any country or government. It's truly global. That means it's not affected by geopolitical events or economic policies that can tank traditional currencies overnight. In an uncertain world, Bitcoin offers a level of financial security that's hard to match. So, are you starting to see why Bitcoin isn't just another investment? It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be a part of a financial revolution. It's your chance to stake your claim in the digital gold rush of our time. The question is, are you ready to seize it? The perfect storm. Why now is the time to invest. You've seen the potential of Bitcoin, but did you know we're on the cusp of something truly extraordinary? A perfect storm is brewing in the world of Bitcoin, and it's creating a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for those who are paying attention. Remember how we talked about Bitcoin being digital gold? Well, the gold rush has officially begun. In January 2024, something happened that changed the game forever. The US approved spot Bitcoin ETFs, and it's like someone opened the floodgates. But this isn't just a trickle of interest, it's a tsunami. Let me put it into perspective for you. The BlackRock iShares Bitcoin Trust, just one of these ETFs, has gobbled up over 330,000 Bitcoin since January 2024. That's more than $22 billion worth of Bitcoin locked away in a single fund. And that's just the beginning. Now, you might be wondering, what does this mean for me? Well, it's simple. These institutional investors are buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin, and there's only so much to go around. Remember, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. As more of these coins get locked up in ETFs and other investment vehicles, the available supply shrinks. But here's where it gets really interesting. While demand is skyrocketing, something else happened in April 2024 that's set to make Bitcoin even more scarce. It's called the halving, and it's a big deal. Every 4 years, the number of new Bitcoins created gets cut in half. It's like clockwork, built right into Bitcoin's code. The latest halving means that the rate of new Bitcoin entering the market has been slashed. Less new supply, combined with exploding demand, you can probably guess what that might do to the price. Now, I'm not here to make price predictions, but I want you to imagine something. What if Bitcoin's value were to increase significantly over the next few years? What would that mean for your financial future, for your retirement plans? This is why many experts are calling this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The combination of institutional demand through ETFs and the supply shock from the halving creates a unique situation. It's like a perfect storm, but instead of destruction, it could lead to creation, the creation of wealth for those who recognize the opportunity. But here's the thing, this window won't stay open forever. As more people catch on, as more Bitcoin gets locked up in ETFs and long-term holdings, the opportunity may start to shrink. That's why it's crucial to understand what's happening right now. You're at a crossroads. On one path, you could continue with business as usual, watching from the sidelines as this financial revolution unfolds. On the other path, you could take action, educate yourself, and consider how Bitcoin might fit into your financial future. I'm not saying you should throw all your savings into Bitcoin. That would be reckless. But I'm saying that understanding this opportunity could be the key to unlocking your financial freedom. It could be your ticket to early retirement, to achieving those dreams you've been putting off. So, what will you do with this information? Will you dismiss it as another passing fad? Or will you take the time to learn more to understand the potential that's right in front of you? The choice is yours, but remember, opportunities like this don't come around often. Are you ready to seize it? Bitcoin by the numbers, price predictions, and retirement goals. You've seen the potential of Bitcoin, but what if I told you that owning just a fraction of a coin could set you up for retirement? It sounds too good to be true, right? Well, let's crunch the numbers and see what the experts are saying about Bitcoin's future. Ever wondered how much Bitcoin you'd need to retire comfortably in the not-so-distant future? The answer might surprise you. It all depends on which price predictions you believe. And let me tell you, these predictions are turning heads. Let's start with the bear case. Bloomberg, known for their conservative estimates, suggests Bitcoin could hit $400,000 by 2030. Now, that might sound like a lot, but in the world of Bitcoin, it's considered playing it safe. If Bloomberg is right, you'd need about 4 Bitcoins to reach a $1.6 million retirement nest egg. That's around $86,000 worth of Bitcoin at today's prices. But what if we aim a little higher? Michael Saylor, the well-known Bitcoin advocate and executive chairman of MicroStrategy, predicts Bitcoin could reach a staggering $4.7 million by 2030. If he's right, you'd only need 0.34 Bitcoin to retire with $1.6 million. That's about $23,600 at current prices. Are these numbers starting to paint a picture for you? Even in the most conservative case, the potential returns far outstrip traditional retirement options. Think about it. How long would it take you to save $1.6 million through conventional means? But here's where it gets really interesting. Bitcoin isn't just outperforming the traditional investments by a little, it's blowing them out of the water. Over the past decade, Bitcoin has been the top performing asset class for 8 out of 11 years. We're talking returns of 102% over 1 year, 448% over 5 years, and a mind-boggling 11,000% over 10 years. Now compare that to your typical retirement account. bonds, stocks, even real estate, they all pale in comparison to Bitcoin's growth potential. It's like comparing a rocket ship to a bicycle. But remember, with great potential comes great volatility. Bitcoin's price can swing wildly in both directions. That's why it's crucial to approach this opportunity with a clear head and a solid strategy. Here's something else to consider. Bitcoin's supply is fixed at 21 million coins. That's it. No more will ever be created. Now, think about what happens as more people start to understand Bitcoin's potential. As demand increases and supply remains fixed, what do you think happens to the price? So, what does this all mean for you? It means that right now, you have a unique opportunity. An opportunity to potentially secure your financial future with a relatively small investment today. But remember, this window won't stay open forever. As more people catch on, as more Bitcoin gets locked up in long-term holdings, the opportunity may start to shrink. You're standing at a crossroads. On one path, you stick with a traditional retirement plan, hoping it'll be enough. On the other, you explore the potential of Bitcoin, armed with knowledge and a clear understanding of the risks and rewards. From bits to riches, Bitcoin's historical performance. You've seen the numbers, you've heard the predictions, but maybe you're still wondering, is Bitcoin really all it's cracked up to be? Well, let's take a trip down memory lane and look at Bitcoin's track record. Because when it comes to investments, past performance can be a pretty good indicator of future potential. Think back to 2013. Bitcoin was just a blip on the radar for most people. Fast forward to today, and it's a financial powerhouse that's outperformed every other asset class for 8 out of the past 11 years. That's not just good, that's phenomenal. But let's get specific. How well has Bitcoin really done? Hold on to your hats because these numbers might just blow you away. If you'd invested in Bitcoin just 1 year ago, you'd be looking at returns of over 102%. That's more than doubling your money in a single year. Now compare that to your savings account. How much interest did you earn last year? 1%? 2%? Bitcoin's performance makes traditional savings look like pocket change. But maybe you're thinking, sure, but what about long-term performance? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Over the past 5 years, Bitcoin has delivered returns of a staggering 448%. That means if you had invested $10,000 5 years ago, you'd be sitting on nearly $55,000 today. And if you'd had the foresight to invest 7 years ago, your returns would be a mind-boggling 2,800%. That $10,000 investment would now be worth over $290,000. Now, I know what you're thinking. Those numbers sound great, but I missed the boat, right? Wrong. Here's why. Bitcoin is still in its infancy. We're talking about a technology that's barely a teenager in terms of its lifespan, and yet it's already revolutionizing the financial world. But let's take it even further. If you'd invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago and held on through the ups and downs, your returns would be an almost unbelievable 11,000%. That's not a typo. Your $10,000 investment would now be worth over $1.1 million. Talk about a retirement plan. Now, I'm not saying Bitcoin's past performance guarantees future results. No investment can promise that. But what these numbers show us is Bitcoin's incredible potential. They show us that Bitcoin isn't just another flash-in-the-pan investment. It's a financial revolution that's been consistently outperforming traditional assets for over a decade. And here's the kicker. Despite all this growth, we're still early in the game. Bitcoin's total market cap is just a fraction of gold's. It's a drop in the ocean compared to the global stock market. What happens when Bitcoin starts to capture even a small percentage of these massive markets? Remember, Bitcoin's supply is fixed at 21 million coins. As more people and institutions start to understand its potential, as more Bitcoin gets locked up in long-term holdings, what do you think happens to the price? The law of supply and demand suggests only one direction, up. But don't take my word for it. Look at the numbers. Study the trends. Bitcoin's historical performance isn't just impressive, it's unprecedented. And while the past doesn't guarantee the future, it certainly gives us a strong indication of what might be possible. So, as you consider your financial future, as you plan for retirement, ask yourself this. Can you afford to ignore an asset that's consistently outperformed everything else for the better part of a decade? Or is it time to seriously consider how Bitcoin might fit into your investment strategy? The HODL strategy. building your Bitcoin retirement fund. You've seen Bitcoin's incredible potential, but how do you actually turn that potential into a retirement fund? It's time to introduce you to a strategy that could be your secret weapon in the world of Bitcoin investing. It's called hodling, and it's not just a misspelling, it's a powerful approach that could transform your financial future. So what exactly is hodling? It's more than just a catchy term, it's a mindset, a strategy, and for some, a way of life. Hodling is all about holding onto your Bitcoin for the long haul, through thick and thin, ups and downs. It's about having faith in the long-term potential of Bitcoin and not getting swayed by short-term market fluctuations. But why is hodling so important? Well, remember those impressive returns we talked about earlier? Those were achieved by people who held on to their Bitcoin, who didn't panic sell when the market dipped, who understood the value of patience. As the saying goes, patience is your greatest ally when it comes to Bitcoin investing. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but how do I actually start building my Bitcoin retirement fund? Great question. The key is to start small and be consistent. Think about setting aside a fixed amount each month to invest in Bitcoin. This approach, known as dollar cost averaging, can help you mitigate the risk of Bitcoin's price volatility. Let's say you decide to invest $100 in Bitcoin every month. Some months, when the price is high, that $100 will buy you less Bitcoin. Over months, when the price is low, you'll get more Bitcoin for your money. Over time, this strategy can help smooth out the ups and downs of the market. But here's where it gets really interesting. As you become more comfortable with Bitcoin and more confident in its potential, you might choose to increase your monthly investment. Maybe you start allocating a larger percentage of your income to Bitcoin. Some hodlers even go as far as converting other assets like stocks or real estate into Bitcoin. But remember, this should always be based on thorough research and an understanding of your personal financial situation. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: market volatility. There's no denying that Bitcoin can be a wild ride. Prices can swing dramatically in a matter of days or even hours. For some people, this volatility can be scary, but for hodlers, it's just part of the journey. Here's a strategy many hodlers use to handle market volatility. They commit to holding their Bitcoin for an entire market cycle, typically around 4 years, before reassessing their investment. This timeline allows you to experience the potential price increases associated with market cycles rather than getting caught up in short-term fluctuations. But hodling isn't just about sitting back and watching your Bitcoin grow. It's about continuously educating yourself about Bitcoin's value and potential. Listen to podcasts, read books, stay informed about developments in the Bitcoin world. The more you understand about Bitcoin, the easier it becomes to stay committed to your hodling strategy. Remember, building a Bitcoin retirement fund is a marathon, not a sprint. It requires patience, discipline, and a strong belief in Bitcoin's long-term potential. But for those who commit to the hodl strategy, the potential rewards could be life-changing. Beyond hodling, leveraging your Bitcoin for financial freedom. So, you've mastered the art of hodling, but what if I told you there's more to Bitcoin than just holding on to it? What if you could leverage your Bitcoin to unlock even greater financial freedom? It's time to explore strategies that go beyond simply watching your digital gold grow. You might be wondering, how can I use my Bitcoin without selling it? Well, here's a game changer for you: borrowing against your Bitcoin. It's like having your cake and eating it too. You get to keep your Bitcoin while accessing its value. Sound too good to be true? Let me explain. Imagine you've been hodling Bitcoin for 2 years, and its value has skyrocketed. You want to enjoy some of that wealth, but you don't want to sell and trigger a tax event. That's where borrowing against your Bitcoin comes in. It's a strategy used by the wealthy to access liquidity without selling their assets. And now it's available to Bitcoin holders like you. Here's how it works. You use your Bitcoin as collateral for a loan. You get cash in hand and you still own your Bitcoin. The best part? Since you're borrowing, not selling, there's no taxable event. It's a smart way to tap into your Bitcoin's value while still benefiting from its potential future growth. But hold on, there's more to consider. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Borrowing against your Bitcoin isn't without risks. If the price of Bitcoin drops significantly, you might need to add more collateral or risk losing your Bitcoin. It's crucial to understand the terms of any loan you take out. Your journey to financial freedom with Bitcoin doesn't end with hodling. It's just the beginning. So, are you ready to explore the full potential of your Bitcoin? The clock is ticking. Your path to Bitcoin retirement. You've seen the potential of Bitcoin, but have you realized how urgent this opportunity really is? Time is ticking, and the window for early retirement through Bitcoin won't stay open forever. Think about it. As more people catch on, as more Bitcoin gets locked up in long-term holdings, the opportunity may start to shrink. Are you ready to seize it before it's too late? How can Bitcoin be your path to an early retirement? Remember, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. As demand increases and supply remains fixed, basic economics suggest the price could skyrocket. But here's the kicker. You don't need to go all in. Even a small investment today could potentially set you up for a comfortable retirement. The key is to start now, educate yourself, and develop a solid investment strategy. So, what are you waiting for? The clock is ticking on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Are you ready to take control of your financial future? If you enjoyed this video, click the video on screen to watch my Bitcoin retirement strategy in 4 simple steps.